So first game here we have Abysscraft, and we'll keep the Filled Out and Vuela because they're just really good cards. Again, as mentioned, Filled Out can combo really well with Charon, and then Vuela has both endgame and early game applications that are really good. Here we can immediately soiree into a skeleton to add something onto the board. And then we can just play out the Filled Out knowing that Charon will bring it back later, so which is completely fine. Here we can play a little more aggressively because even though we are a control deck, it is fine to play more aggressively, especially into cards or decks like Roach. So here we're going to continue playing the aggressive path and evolve aggressively into them. You know, more face damage, really adding the pressure. And then they full trade, which is fine. Now we can Charon. Charon will bring back a big board. And then we can continue evolving aggressively. They're already spending their bales, their zero cost bales, so this is really good pressure, especially against Roach, right? So they're just using their cards. And they didn't even bounce their Roach back. So now we know that they're playing Roach. We can continue to play aggressively, but still having a big enough ward to be defensive about it. So this lets us clear out two things and then still lets us slash and keep a big ward and continue going face. So that lets us play really aggressively. But here we're up against Rune, which is not a good match at all. We opted to keep the Vuela, but we also rolled into the Filled Out and Soiree. So the hand turned out to be really good. Starting off, we can soiree into... Okay, well, looking back at it, I probably would have played the skeleton. But it's fine. Because the skeleton would have gotten us 1 damage here, right? But they ate away, so... Now we play the ghost perfume, or sorry, the skeleton. Perfumer clears it out for free. Going to turn 5, we can now Filled Out to clear out the board. And add in bats to establish a bigger board presence. Apollo trades really well in here. I'm actually surprised they're even running Apollo, so this caught me really off guard. We had to use Rotting Zombie to evolve to clear that, unfortunately. I would have loved to use Winged Servants to clear to heal, but we didn't really have that luxury. We're going to evolve Juno, which can get really annoying. These golems at the end of every turn. But now we also know that it's definitely not what's it called? Not spell boost. So here we Olivia Bats. This lets us heal back up to full. And then they have another Apollo. This is crazy, right? Actually, I really did not expect them to run this many Apollos. So that was just to clear out the board for Vuela, or not for Vuela, but we used Vuela to clear out the board that way. Didn't really have much of an option. So here we have to use the Fill Dow, Super Evolve it. That uses up all our Super Evolves. Not a great spot to be in, but they still have to play it into this really big board. Norman, that can be really annoying, but they used it to draw, and then they Super Evolve. That's their last Super Evolve as well, so it's really good to summon a Golem. Really good Medusa turn. They clear out their board. Just so we can refresh our hand, the Bat's value has already been used up. And they managed to clear it out with Glacial Crash. So Olivia Charon is a really good combo here as well. Sets up such a good board, heals, draws, does so much. But it is a turn 10 play, so quite hard to pull off. Usually these games shouldn't run this long either, but at this point, it's not spell boost. Probably could have reordered that so that we played Filled Out first, so Filled Out gets the buff as well. So, but overall, it's okay. Grimner comes down. They heal. And then that is lethal. So here we're playing against Dragon, and we'll keep the Filled Out to allow us to clear out any early boards. And then immediately them playing this, we know that it is going to be aggro Dragon, base Dragon. So kind of yikes. We're playing against Dragon. Maybe the better option was to have just traded here with the Nanny to save 1 health, but you live and learn. We are going to start taking a lot of damage. But fortunately, we are able to now evolve here. Though that can clear the board, doesn't leave us in a very favorable position, but we can Soul Predation the skeleton to try and draw into something good. So here we drew into Winged Servants, which hopefully will let us heal enough. And then here now they're gonna start their Fan of Otohime punch, Fan of Otohime trade, you know, so here we decided to just trade with a bat so we can heal. And here you're going to see Vuela super evolving the bat. Gives us 6 healing here as well. So, and it lets us hit face with that trade. Vuela being able to bust for herself, so much trading potential. So here we're gonna super evolve with the bat again, but really try and tread some water. Or you have the deep, and then they kill off the bat, because I guess the healing is getting to really annoying for them. Here we're gonna keep chairing. So the reason we chairing here is that they just played Warrior of the Deep. I actually don't know how many they run anymore in this list, but the only way for them to get past 3 wards, even though we're at 2, is another Warrior of the Deep. Even if they traded here, it is only 1 damage. What I know is that they shouldn't have anything that just does 1 damage to us to face through wards. So having Aya, if we did anything else, probably would have died if we didn't have those wards. So Abysscraft has so many options this set with new additional cards, building onto what they had already last set. Their whole shell felt very incomplete, but with this set, now they're able to play really aggressive games, mid-rangey games, and even control games. So Abyss is eating really well, and this is a control list that I found from a Japanese YouTuber. I'll post their channel in the description, but the idea is just a very control game. Run their resources low. End game, you have Gensetsu to clear boards, you have your Medusa to clear, you have Mukan to clear. Mukan, as you can see, doesn't have the Shadow Crypts to combo with, but you also still have Ghastly Soiree to give you the ghosts to combo with Mukan or combo with Cerberus to finish the games off. In the early game, you have Phil Dao evolve to do any trades. On top of that, Phil Dao also gets revived or reanimated by Charon, so you can basically just throw out Phil Dao however you want in the early game as a 2 mana 2/2, which is very good, very well statted. So Charon will just bring them back, and the reason for that is that usually on the Charon turn, you want to kill off their board, because it is quite threatening, especially if you're going first. Then they have an already evolved unit, right? So one of the best options is to just evolve the reanimated Phil Dao instead of evolving the Charon, because the evolve is just so good, right? And you bring it back, so it's just free. It sets up a better board too, especially if you don't have to run into Phil Dao. But going into stuff like, what's her name, like Anangrea, for example, really good board to go into that, because they don't get a favorable trade. A lot of times you run the evolve Charon in, and it's down to 3 health. They can easily just evolve Anangrea to trade into to do the 3 damage effect onto the Charon. So what other cards do we have here? One card you probably notice that's odd in here is the Winged Serpents. I was also not a bats believer, because one of my biggest hates is that it dilutes Cerberus. Really makes it so Cerberus just pulls junk out. But if you get turns like Olivia into Winged Servant and the bats, they heal so much. Even bats super evolved with Wella heals a lot. So there's just options you have to stay alive. Like bats is just your healing card. Heals more than Ceres, heals more than Olivia, heals more than even Cerberus turns sometimes. Bats, really good card for just healing. Otherwise, it does feel quite bad when you pull it from the Cerberus, but it can also reanimate with Charon. So if you're in an aggressive matchup and you play your wing bats early to try and contest the board, you can bring it back with Charon and then evolve the bats for more healing as well. So quite a versatile card, and it's actually just a really good card outside of when you super evolve Cerberus. So with that being said,